I'm a dream client.
Yep.
From the perspective of you always know where I stand.
Sure.
So you always know where you stand.
Yep.
I'm very direct, I'm very blunt.
Sure.
But I'm value driven. Like for me,
Sure.
you know, I've worked with about half a dozen different PR companies in the last 10 years.
Yep.
Mixed results. In every case, I've always left because I haven't been happy with the consistency. They normally start with a bit of a bang, but they peter out pretty quickly when they get busy with other clients.
Yep.
I've got this love-hate relationship with PR. I've pulled off some really mega deals as a result of timing. Yeah, look, for me, mate, it's all about the value. Is the news, let's call it, whether it be primary or secondary, are they interested in social media?
I think so, but it depends on the individual story. It's not.
Or are they trying to push it down due to the threat?
No.
So who's at a thought leader level in Australia right now? Who owns social media?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell
No
you.
one can.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Is that a problem or is that an opportunity?
It's an opportunity, I'd say.
Okay. Well, to me, it's an
100%.
opportunity. I'm
Yeah,
just
but
curious.
you've got to be able to. I mean, I don't think
Deliver.
you can, but you've got to be able to deliver.
Yeah, I'm playing the long game. Like I'm a very much
Yeah.
a long person. Like I'm
Sure.
not. Yes, I want to make money right now, but I'd rather do something today that is going to make me, you know, let's call it $100 3 years from now, than do something today that'll make me $10 now.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
When would you like to get started on this?
Probably 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah. I can make you famous.
And then so Kerwin said, like, you know, oh.
What's happening, boys?
We're just going through the values and with Marie.
We're up to the last one.
Yeah.
We get things done, focus on results.
Yeah, what's your interpretation of that?
We get things done and we focus on results.
Exactly what I would have said.
How can I add value in this moment? The stronger you position yourself as a specialist, the longer they'll talk to you. The more you sound like a telemarketer, the faster they want to get you off the phone. Whereas if you can just be really conversational, but still calm and assertive, so not like, oh, really? You know, you're talking, you know, you sound like a professional.
Yeah.
They'll probably want to give you the time of day. And if they don't, they might even say, well, look, you know, this is really interesting. Can we, you know, I'm busy right now. Can you call me back? Once you understand the way the brain receives information, it totally changes the paradigm of how you deliver information. Yeah. People don't want more detail, they want less detail. They want higher level information and they want, you know, things that are new and exciting. How else can I add some value right now? We've got to understand the strategy behind the social experiment. It's a long strategy. It's, you know, it's understanding what's called the Mears effect. And the Mears effect states that the more exposures that someone has to their content or their brand in a positive light, the greater the probability of transaction. Because like, oh, I've been following this guy, I've watched 20 videos, I've watched 100 videos. I've been watching the social experiment from the start. Now he's actually running an event. Oh my God, I can't believe this. Versus, oh, some dude's running an event. I'm not really interested. Back when the internet became popular, you know, there were a lot of businesses resisting it, saying it's just a fad. All those businesses are out of business now. They're saying this is the next wave of the internet. If you're not on social media in the next 3 to 5 years, you're not going to be in business. This is the most important transition in business in the last 20 years. It's bigger than the internet, as far as I'm concerned anyway. What's her name? Anyone? I don't know. Chloe. Hi. Hey, how you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Come on in. So how long have you been doing roller derby? When you think of a personality who owns the social media space in Australia, when it comes to thought leadership, who do you think of?
No one.
Exactly. This is where business is going. It's where attention is going. Clearly, it's been going that way for a long time. But I don't think there's a lot of businesses that have really woken up to the fact that there is a massive shift in the way businesses market now, away from promotional to content. Flowers! We have flowers!
Yeah, are they nice?
Nice! Who bought the flowers?
Yeah, you were going to come here and say, what the fuck is this?
No, I like it's. Do I really come out like that? Nice work,
So
kiddo.
we're doing that and not the books, just soon.
What? No, we're doing the books.
Which book do you want to do?
The influence books. Are you guys with me?
Yeah, I think we missed that.
No, we discussed that. And you said, oh, it can't hurt to give him another book. You guys want to do it now because it's a sexy, shiny object. Oh my God. I'm loving it. This is the most attention I've had in weeks. It makes me want to stay.
One day at a time, one foot at a time, one step at a time.
Sometimes the best thing that we can do is nothing.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And like being the whole social
The whole experiment, let me tell you,
fantastic.
wow, it's been a ride.
Yeah.
We haven't even started. Well, we've started, But you know, when you can think of it in the context of a 5-year strategy.
It's huge. It's huge.
Listen, I've got to upload a video. Grab some breakfast. I've been trying to get my wife on the whole bandwagon of buying a farm because I want to get a farm. And she's like, farm? I don't want a farm. I want to live in the city, blah, blah, blah. And so I took her up to Byron Bay and we hired a farm. And she's like, this is actually really quite nice. You know, we could do this. So yeah, it's a 5-year strategy. All right, good morning, everybody. It's been a big week. No, big year. Where are we? What are these people doing in my office? Look, it's been a massive start to the year. It's been really exciting to see whatever all of you guys have been doing. We've got a lot of stuff to share with you guys today as well as over this weekend. But before we get started, I think it's really important that we start with positive focus. Brucey.
Just feeling really healthy, fit. Definitely 4X for the month.
Wow.
And after 15 years, finally cracking that goddamn ceiling of going through the $1 million. So
You've hit the million. Hey! They always say making the first million is the hardest.
fuck, 16 years.
But you got there. You got there.
That's it.
And now, with the momentum that you've got, your second million will come a lot easier, and the third, and the fourth, and the 15th. What's the distinction, Bruce, in terms of the way that you communicate with your team 2 years ago versus now?
Trust.
Wow.
I trust them.
Right.
That was my personal issue that I didn't trust them.
Yeah.
I thought I had to do it all and I was the only one who could do it.
Nobody does it better.
That's it. So now it's about empowering them and how can I teach them to actually have that skill? How can I improve what they want to learn? Allow them to make mistakes and allow them to learn and do what they have to do.
Because there's no surprise that you've now cracked the $1 million mark. There's no surprise that you're now saying that the team is coming together, because I personally would like to really acknowledge Bruce and the level of leadership that he demonstrates selflessly. And this is a guy who sleeps for 4 hours a night. This is a guy who, you worked last night?
Yeah.
You're working tonight?
Yep.
And you're working on?
Friday night.
Yeah. So massive kudos. Look, I'm always a little bit self-centered when it comes to my positive focus, but it has to be Noah. I take him to school, most days now, and so we get to spend basically 40 minutes in the car every morning just together, just hanging out and talking, and just to see the level of conversation. It's one thing to be able to talk to your child, but it's another thing for your child to answer back and say, "Oh, do you like that?" And they go, "Yes," and it's like, and just the inspiration that he gives me just to show up every day. It's been it's been incredible. I think everyone, if you haven't got kids, everyone should have one, because it's unconditional love is one of these things that you hear talked about, but you don't really understand what unconditional love is until all of a sudden you have this little being that comes into your world that is basically by design, 50% of their design is to push all of the buttons that you have. And when you can get to the point where you have, this being that pushes every button you have, and you still look at them and go, I still want to eat your feet. You really learn what the meaning of love is, and you learn, and to me, it's about taking that love and expanding on that with my wife, and taking that love and expanding on that with my team and my talent, and taking that love and expanding it with you guys, and just learning how to love people for who they are, not who we want them to be. I think that's quite a liberating feeling, because then you don't have to try to change people. You just allow people to be who they are, and oftentimes when you allow people to be who they are, they naturally or they organically become good in their own way. I honestly see what I'm doing right now with the social experiment is going to be the greatest innovation for you guys when it comes to growing your businesses of anything that we've done to date. And that's a pretty big statement. The thing that I don't want to hear is, "Oh, you're just like Gary," because I don't want to be like Gary. Gary's the reason we're doing what we're doing, and I don't hold back from giving credit to him. And he had a side conversation with me in Vegas. He said, "I've checked out some of your stuff," and he said, "It sucks." Well, he didn't tell me what to do. He just, because this is the thing what I like about Gary. He doesn't tell people what to do. He calls it clouds on dirt. He calls it religion and tactics. So he just gave me his religion, and I got converted. I was converted in 5 minutes. And I'm noticing that the biggest challenge that brands have is the greatest opportunity for small business. The biggest challenge that brands have is they're faceless. They're faceless, and they don't have a person. And brands, and this is the biggest thing, how do you find a voice for a brand that doesn't have a face? Every single one of you, as a part of your business, you should be the personal face of what it is that you're doing. When you think of personal brands that are being used to drive commerce or to drive outcomes, what do you think is one of the top personal brands on social media right now? Donald Trump. He's turned an entire country on its head. An entire political system, is in twists as a result of what he's been able to do on social media at a personal brand level. And he's really shaking up business. He's also shaking up politics. But here's the thing: will he be president this round? No. Will he be president? I would put money on it. At some point, that guy's going to be president. Why? Because he has the market. He has the following. He has, he understands that. Well, whether he or his team does, he understands social media. They understand social. And this is the thing. Once upon a time, if you wanted to be president of a country or prime minister of a country, it wasn't about voters. It was about media. People who win elections are the ones that have the relationships with the media companies that distribute the content that sway people's opinion. And people that win business are the ones that have the greatest relationships with media companies that have been able to sway opinion and sway budgets and get discounts in order to get exposure for their content. It's the undoing of any culture. The undoing of any culture is politics. Look at our political system. Look at the US political system. It is the greatest undoing of collaborative initiative in humanity is politics. And again, the frame that I give is anytime someone comes to me with information, I always say, if they say, look, I need you to keep this between you and I say, well, just so you know, I can't do that depending on what you tell me. If you tell me something that I need to share with someone, then I'm gonna have to share this information. And guess what happens? 100% of the time, guess what happens? They still tell you. Because they either wanna be heard or they want to complain, and regardless of what you say, that's not going to prevent them from seeking any one of those two outcomes. The stronger a culture becomes, the more you know who fits and who doesn't fit. Hello, Snapchat, on our way to our Kate's Will Eat event. This is actually, I had that room last time and it was falling apart. But I love, I sat out there last time and I was just watching the planes come in.
It'll make it work.
Is that your name? Oh no! Oh no! K2! We are going to be starting every morning at
4:30.
7:30. Hey! Nasty, how are you, brother? Good, man. How are you? Are you making magic in there?
Don't worry about it, just leave it to me.
All right, thank you. All right, I'm going to bail. If you want to take off, you're all good now. Everything I do is for the service of K2 to make sure that K2 grows and thrives and survives. And yeah, so you guys have become, a very important part of my life, and that's why I love spending my Friday nights with you in my palm. That sounded wrong. That sounded my palm. Look, I think it's fair to say we're started on the back foot with the event, and we've got thrown out with the room. And I think what we need to do in order to come together right now is really acknowledge what our strengths are. Our strengths are team. We're a solid team.